This edition of Durango TV News is brought to you by Comfort Keepers, recipient of the 2017 Best of Home Care Provider and Employer of Choice by Home Care Pulse.
Do you work in Durango but can't afford the housing costs? The City of Durango wants to hear from you and from in-town residents who are struggling to live within the city limits. The city has posted an online survey on its website as part of its efforts to address the town's chronic housing shortage. The survey will be included in a new comprehensive housing plan that identifies specific action steps to address the city's chronic housing shortage. The City of Durango first identified the need for affordable housing in the comprehensive plan it adopted in the mid-'80s. While the city has taken steps to address housing costs through regulations and through partnerships with nonprofit housing agencies, housing shortages and rising costs persist. According to city planners, the rental vacancy rate hovers around 1%, compared with more than 5% statewide. And only 40% of in-town workers live within the city limits. The housing shortage isn't just an issue for low-income families, it's also forcing young, middle-class families out of town.
We're missing out on a whole generation in that sense. We're creating a demographic donut hole. We've got younger people who live here, and then you've got older people who live here, middle-aged and older, who can afford housing, but that 30-year-old, 25 to 35-year-old demographic, that could be a potential problem.
The new plan identifies concrete steps to increase affordable housing options in the city limits, including development of a land banking program similar to a system adopted in Fort Collins. That town began purchasing vacant land 20 years ago and then set it aside for later development to reduce housing costs. The Durango plan also proposes that the city establish a revenue stream to reduce housing development costs. And the plan will recommend revisions to the city's land use and development code to remove barriers that prevent private developers from building more affordable housing units. The first draft of the plan is expected to be completed by late spring or early summer. In the meantime, if you'd like to participate in the housing survey, visit the city's website at durangogov.org.